Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Here's a quick update on what is going on. I started going through the process of just kind of organizing the wiring. Um, as you can see, wire ties are your friend. Yeah, so I know that, like, unfortunately, the way that these gauges work is that I'll have to actually basically take all that back apart when I put it in the other dash, but I needed to just be organized and to be able to, like, see stuff. My brain was getting, like, a little bit overrun with the big just tangle mess of wires. And once I started doing that, it's cool. These vintage gauges, they really, it's kind of hard to see, but let's see if I can zoom in. For each gauge, for most of them at least, you have one set of red, black, and white. So power, ground, and I guess signal. I don't know what the white one is. And they basically just piggyback. And they have these little clips, and there's a separate little thing that goes do all through all the gauges. And then similarly, there's this black guy, which I think is for lighting them up. And so on the gauge, you have this is whatever it goes to. So I don't know. Let's say it's like fuel or oil pressure. This you'd clip into the oil pressure thing, and they actually give you a separate thing for that. And yeah, and then you get your power and ground to actually activate the gauge, and then to illuminate it, which is this guy. And as you kind of like run it and connect them all up, daisy chain them, at the end you end up with just one thing that you have to go and find power, ground, or whatever else it is. Same thing with, where's the black one? Well, this one's a little bit interesting. So this is the black one that lights up the gauges, and you end up getting a relay. This is where it terminates, and then you also, I guess that's the dimmer switch, so you can control how bright you want your gauges. So that's pretty cool. And I'm just actually kind of figuring that out as I'm like starting to organize this stuff. I got the Russ Thompson turn signal thing in here. These are all the wires that come off from that. So yeah, this guy has a ton of stuff on here, and that is the tack. The tack? No, that is the speedometer. Yeah, so I got to figure out why the speedometer needs all that. I know one of them. This guy is a little control, so that's this, or this. Yeah, I guess that. The other one is there's a little GPS receiver, so it's a GPS speedometer, and then it's got the lighting and the power and all that other stuff, but then all this crap. Don't really understand why I need all this stuff, but I'll figure it out as I go through, which is exciting. And here, I'll just flip this over again for a second. You can see the Russ Thompson turn signal, and I got a little bevel from replicaparts.com, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, just like finally getting organized is really good. It was just, it felt like such an intimidating project, and I know that like sometimes you just gotta go step by step, but I hadn't been going step by step. So back on this side, you can see, let me see, do I have one that's handy? Yeah, like this. So where that yellow clip coming off of the gauges, see that little guy standing up there? There's a whole bunch of these that actually go to sensors. So this one, I'm pretty sure, is oil pressure, and you can actually follow this back. And it came with, like in the pack, it's kind of like a universal thing. So it gives you like something to actually go in, and like if you follow that wire all the way back, you'd end up here, and that goes into, this is like a coolant passage that goes into the heater core. But it has its own little clip and its own little sensor, and yeah, basically you get all hooked up. So so that's pretty cool. yeah, it's getting doable. Let's see, what else? With the help of industrial strength Velcro, which I think is the coolest stuff ever, which is the way that I'm mounting the dash. I've got my ECU, PCM, whatever you want to call it, mounted up. And if I don't like it, or if the bulb fitting when I go to put it on is not perfectly right, I can move it. I've also got the other fuses and relays for the front harness. There's like the main one underneath there, but then there's another set that comes with the front harness. So again, with Velcro, popped it up there. If I don't like that, I can move it. You can kind of sense a theme. There's a lot of setting this up, and also being aware that I might be moving stuff around and doing it so that I can move it around. But Velcro, man, Velcro. Why isn't Velcro a bigger thing? I guess it kind of is. But yeah, and then so lastly, there's a guy in the forums, and he has an extra tunnel piece. So a tunnel piece of carpet. So that is awesome. Meet up with him the next couple days and snag that. And he might even be watching. If so, what's going on, dude? If you need anything, let me know. I've got like extra heads for a 302 if you need them for a stock 50, or I don't know. I've got all kinds of stuff. So if you need anything, let me know. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else going on. No, that's it for now. Yeah, I'm just diving into the wiring and having fun. Well, not fun. I'm not necessarily having fun, but I'm starting to like, my brain is starting to clear, which is great. Oh, here's another thing for people who aren't like, you know, doing one of these. If you're a newbie, off of the main engine harness, you get all these wires, and when you actually start to like look through them, they'll say what they are on them. So left dash indicator light. So I guess your left turn signal, and that would plug into your left turn signal. If you went further on here, let's see if I can just find something that's not the same thing as that. There's a lot of left turn signals. But anyways, like that's the idea. What does that say? Holt div ow? I don't know what the hell that is. Oh, but here, okay. This one's readily readable and understandable. Speed sensor. So that's the speed sensor. Let's see, the purple guy. Coil tach. Though I gotta say, there's gotta be 3 different things with the coil and tach. One of the weird things about this wiring is because there's the chassis harness, which is kind of like the default, which is this guy over here, and then the front harness, which is all the stuff that actually connects up onto the engine and is engine specific. So for me, it's the 50 Mustang. You get redundancies, and that was one of the things early on that I was having a hard time figuring out. So one of the redundancies is there's 2 places for the inertia switch. So if the inertia switch isn't connected, then the car won't start. So this is where my inertia switch is. So I had that one on connected this side of the wiring harness, but this one is the front harness, and it wasn't connected. That was like a bitch to figure out when you aren't looking for an inertia switch. But anyways, yeah, it's figured out. That's in the past. And there's other stuff like that. Like I swear to God, there's got to be like 3 different tach signals that come in. So I don't exactly know why that is, and I guess I'll thin it out. There's a lot of stuff that it just seems like, is this all really gonna go into the dash? Do I even have that much room? Unclear. And also, I have a ton of these female ends, but no male ends. So I gotta get spade connect. And I was just at Radio Shack. Oh, it's so sad that Radio Shack's going out of business. But I digress. So yeah, that's kind of where it's sitting. Getting pretty stoked. Oh yeah, one last thing. I should really write a list before I take these videos so that I'm not just like rambling on and on. But I've got the weather pack connectors, and those are gonna go for the outside, so for like the lights and stuff like that. But for the interior, I've got these guys. So the theory is that I'll be able to make that also removable and just like unpluggable. So I will have like, you know, there's like these bundles of wires, well, those guys, but like, you know, stuff like this. If I can, actually, you know, that. If I can get those into like little connectors and just like plug it in and unplug it, it should be in good shape. So yeah, just got to go through and do it. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, like and subscribe if you like this and want to subscribe. And I'll catch you later. Peace.